Alright, so I'm outside the Bauer household, and this is the mulch that I was talking about that we put around the house. Now you're going to notice that up here you're going to see some bare spots right over here, and up there, and over here. And it's because just during the winter, the stuff just gets blown into the grass. It gets blown all over, and you can rake some of it up, and that's fine and everything. There's another spot. But then it gets caught in the mower, and eventually it breaks down. So what I did is I kind of adjusted all of this stuff around here until I get a big empty spot. Now don't ask me where this went. I don't know if the neighbors are stealing it. I doubt it, because they're pretty good people. But for some reason there's a huge bunch of mulch that I need to go buy. So since we're talking about volume, I'll kind of show you how I can use volume to figure this out. The first thing that we need to do is we need to figure out about how big the area is. So if you take a look at this right here, this border, you're going to notice that there's a little bit of space here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure. You notice that it's about 3 inches from the ground up. Now that'd probably be above. Let's go 2 inches. So I want this about 2 inches deep. Now pull back. It's pretty close to a square area, so I'm going to set this down and figure out exactly how much I need. So, get my tape measure there, and we're going to go right here. About 44 inches. So 44 inches, and then the width. Width is about 48 inches. So now I need to figure out how many square inches, or excuse me, how many cubic inches are in here. So it's going to be 48 multiplied by about 40, maybe about 48. Yeah, we'll call it 48 by 48. And then again, it was about 2 inches thick. So we'll do 48 times 48 times 2, and that's in inches, and that'll tell us how much mulch we need to fit right in there. Alright, so found some sidewalk chalk. Let's remember our measurements is 48. And I said 48 times 48, because there's 48 this way, 48 this way, and 48 this way. But then it was 2 inches deep, so if I were to draw a cube, I'd want to figure out about how much mulch we need. We'll let M stand for mulch, so luckily we know how to do this. We'll do 48 times 48, and we'll start by saying 40 times 40, and I see 2 zeros, so we'll write that here. I get 1,600 or 1,600. And then we have 140 times 8, so I see 1 0. We have 320. So we've done this one, we've done this one. We'll do another 40 times 8. So we get 320 again. And then the last one is an 8 times 8, which is a basic fact. 8 times 8 will give us 64. And we add it up. So we get 4. We get a 0. Carry that 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Carry the 1. Alright, so 2,304. But that was just 48 times 48. We need to do 48 times 48 times 2. That was a little bit easier. Multiply by 2 here. And so I get 2 times 2,000 is 4,000. So that's this one right here. 2 times 300 is 600. 2 times 0, 0 of course. And 2 times 4 is going to give us 8. Add this up, that's going to tell us how many cubic inches we need of mulch. 0, and then 6, and then 4 comes straight down. And so that's going to be inches cubed, because we want, like I said, we want that mulch to go inside that cube. Alright, so let's recap. We did 48 by 48, and then it was 2 inches deep, so we did 48 times 48 to give us 2,304. I'm going to multiply that by 2, and it's going to give us 4,608. Now, here's the odd thing. What we need to do, since we're doing volume, we don't divide it by 12. I know 12 inches equals 1 foot, but, well, let's take a look at the cube I drew. It's not 12 by 12, that would just be the base. Well, it's 12 times 12 times 12. So I did that real quickly here. 144 times 12, and that gives us 1,728. So here's what we need to do. We need to figure out how many times 1,728 goes into 4,608. So here's what I'll do. I know that, well, 10 times 3, or 1,000 times 3 would be, well, 3,000. I know that if I rounded this whole number up to the nearest thousand, it would be 2,000 times 3, which is 6,000. So I think 3 is a pretty good guess. So we'll multiply that out. 3 times 1,000, 3 times 700, 3 times 28, and 8 times 3 is going to give us 24. So I know that in 3 cubic feet, right here, that's how many cubic inches. So I'm going to say 3 inches. Let me rephrase that. 3 feet cubed is going to equal 5,184 inches cubed. Alright, so 3 cubic feet equals that many cubic inches. Now you might be saying, well, why do I care? Well, that's telling me that I need 3 cubic feet to fill in that space that we had way up here. So 48 times 48 times 2, that's how much mulch we need. So that tells us that we need 3 cubic feet to equal all that. Alright, now what you're looking at right here, this is about a cubic foot. Notice that every side is 1 foot long, so we have 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot, and that's called a cubic foot. Now, when you go by these bags, right down here it'll tell you contains 2 cubic feet. So if I had 2 of those, and if I put sides on all around, then I could fill 1 bag full of here into there. So with the math that we did back on the sidewalk, it said that we needed 3 cubic feet in order to fill that space right here. What I did is I went out and I bought a couple bags, and so we have 2 cubic feet, and then 2 more cubic feet with another bag, and then 2 cubic feet. So 2 times 3 is 6. I'm going to have 6 cubic feet, and we'll take a look and see how we can fill that in. Here's the final product. So if you think back to what we did, the first thing we needed to do is we needed to figure out the volume. We did 48 times 48 times 2. And our answer, converted that to feet. We used our bags here. You're going to notice I did use all 3 bags here. Here's the plus side. The plus side is all of that. And here's the bad side. Right about there. Looks like I need to get more mulch because that red was really nice. And it'd just be a nice touch up for the rest of this. So, sorry to give you a math version, but hey, guess what? The things we work on, you can use every day in your life as you get older.